is insane. A 300 tick candle. It's absurd, guys, right? But you know, we move the way the market moves. You know, we have to be reactive, right? We don't want to be too predictive. When you're too predictive, that's when you end up getting stopped very often. What you want to do is you want to look at the market, you want to have a good plan where you think the market's going to go. And then you want to react to what the market shows you, right? You want to take what the market gives. Right now, the market's not giving us a very good option today, right? At least for risk management. Yes, it's giving us a lot of reward. There's a lot of crazy moves. But in terms of risk management, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep a 50, 55 tick stop and actually get to be in a trade unless I get the most perfect entry you could even think of. Right? Because even the candles that look smaller are still pretty big candles. Right? So please, please, please don't get caught up in the volatility. I mean, just look at this candle right here, right? 317 ticks on a 1 minute candle. This is what I'm talking about. You know, you cannot really have a good stop loss in a market like this. If you are going to trade, I really, really, really recommend trading micros. If you're going to trade, no matter what I say, please look at micros. I wouldn't even think about minis. But right now, yeah, I mean, you're not going to see me taking any entries right now. This is just a little too crazy for me. A little too crazy for my liking. So, again, we'll wait. We'll hang out. We'll watch the charts. We'll see how we're moving. We'll see if there's any kind of move that we can take with good risk management. All right, I'm not saying I'm completely counting out the day from trading. I'm not saying that. I would still like to find some good setups in the market, but we just have to be very careful today. All right, so the market is opening pretty bullish right now. We're sweeping some buy-side levels. Let's see if we want to come up and sweep this buy-side up here. All right, we got some equal highs up top. A lot of equal highs up here. And then obviously we have that 4-hour SIBI up top above that London high. All right, going back to that 4-hour chart like I was talking about. We have that 4-hour SIBI. And we're creating these equal lows. So eventually I do want to see price come back down and sweep those equal lows. We'll see how long that's going to take. We also have this 1-hour SIBI here that we bounced off of, so we'll see if price wants to trade into that as well. So a pretty crazy pump so far, market open. Pretty crazy pump. Right, so I mean, we can just look from market open from the low to where we're at right now. We just pumped over 1,000 ticks, right? That's 1,100 ticks. 1,100 ticks in the first 7 minutes of the market. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, exactly. Like Jack just said, guys, even if you try to have a 100 tick stop or even more than 100 ticks, that's how you're getting stopped out literally within seconds. Yeah, exactly. Only 1,200 ticks in 8 minutes. That's no biggie. That happens all the time, right? No, if you guys are new to trading futures, futures are volatile as it is. It's already a very volatile index to trade, especially in Q. But this is more volatile than you will probably ever see. This is not a normal, typical thing that happens every single day. This is, at least overnight, that was the biggest overnight move that I think I've ever personally seen on NQ. At least in a long time, at least that I can remember. For the market to dump 1,000 points overnight is extremely rare. Extremely rare. So just a pretty insane move. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of wars brewing in the Middle East right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people are very uneasy. A lot of people are very fearful right now. I mean, you can see the fear index is just the fear index or the volatility index, right? So the VIX last night or this morning has just been pumping like crazy, right? This whole morning since it opened has been pumping like crazy. Let's see. Do we have SMT on the 5-minute? Let's check it out. Oh, the last time you ever saw that Was it when Russia declared war on Ukraine? Yes. So we're seeing right now in the Middle East with Israel and Lebanon, right? Basically about to go into a full out war is what it's looking like. It's looking like they're about to go into a full out war. So yes, the market likes to react, right? It's fundamental analysis. The market likes to react to these things going around in the world, obviously, because people have actual interests in these wars, right? People are invested in certain things. People don't like to see war. People don't like to see that stuff. So a lot of, across the board, everything is dumping. Especially when you see the U.S. economy already it hasn't been in the best place for the past few years. We were very overextended at all-time highs. Pretty much most of our stocks were at all-time highs. So it's bound to come back down at some point, right? It can't just keep going up forever and ever. You got to have pullbacks every once in a while. Do we have SMT on the 5 minute? So it looks like we do. Let's look at these highs up here. Right? These are the same highs up here. So that is big SMT divergence. Right? Big SMT divergence. So we just created our 10-minute opening range. So typically what we'd want to see is for us to trade above our opening range on the 10 or the 15-minute and then come back down. Or vice versa, trade below and then come back up. I mean, I don't even care right now, guys. This is not a market that I want to trade currently. This is even, for me, that even though I have a lot of experience in this market and with trading, I still don't even want to get involved in this right now. I still don't want to get involved in this. And that should tell you something for those of you that are new. If I'm not wanting to get involved in this, then, that should definitely tell you something. Yes, guys, I would like you guys to all welcome John to the team. John is going to be starting with us this week. He will be running his first session with you guys tomorrow. So he's going to be running psychology and risk management classes for the Discord full time. So I'd really like to welcome John. He's going to be an amazing addition to the team. So super excited to have him here. A lot of you already know John. But some of you don't, so you'll get to know him pretty soon. Man, yeah, this is pretty crazy, guys. Pretty crazy. I'm going to be honest with you guys about just my normal, buying stocks and whatever. This is the time, once the market starts to come back down, and this is not professional advice whatsoever. All right, I'm going to lead off with that. This is the time I personally like to buy, right? And everybody's very fearful. Everybody's selling off when things come back down and start to become a little more cheap. That's when I personally like to buy. So we'll see. Again, I don't like to buy, I don't think crypto is going away anytime soon. I think crypto is here to stay. Crypto is something we might want to bring into the Discord a little bit more as well. I know a lot of you guys are very interested in crypto stuff. I think that's something we might, as a team, might want to bring into the Discord a little bit more. No, I do not own any Shiba. No Shiba for me. So, yeah, what John just said, guys, that's pretty insane. This is the biggest one-day sell-off Japan has had since 1987. And that's going to have a direct effect on the U.S. economy as well, guys. It's going to have a direct effect when you see such a big country, such a big economy that trades with most of the world, right? Affects most of the world. It's going to affect the U.S. It's going to affect a ton of other countries. Exactly, right? It's the first one. That's just not a good sign. It's not a good sign for the world, I should say, for most of our, big countries that are involved with Japan. Again, I am no professional in the economy. I'm no, professional in economics. But it's stuff like this it's pretty obvious when you start seeing things like this happen that it's probably not a good sign for a lot of countries. Now, I'm not saying that to be fearful or anything like that. It's just you got to be aware. You got to be aware of what's going on as a trader. It's your responsibility to be aware of what's going on in the world, what's going to affect the markets that we trade. It's your responsibility, right? And that's why you always hear me talking about our news. You always hear me talking about things that are going on around the world, because it's important to keep a good idea of what's affecting our market. Okay, so 15-minute opening range has been created. So let's just look at how many ticks our 15-minute opening range just moved. 1,452 ticks in the first 15 minutes of the market. That might make a lot of you want to trade, but that tells me that I don't really want to trade. Especially because my bias is extremely short today. I'm still very bearish bias. And when I see the market pumping like this, I think this is just a big fake out. At least that's the way it feels to me, right? That's the way it looks to me. After seeing that big of a drop, I would not expect, I'd expect some pullback in the market. But overall, I'm still expecting this market to be short. The other thing we got to pay attention to is that we have news today. We have news coming out at 10 a.m. We already had some news come out negative. We had Final Services PMI come out negative. We have ISM Services PMI coming out at 10 a.m. And that's the only red folder event of the day. So we are almost at London High. All right, we're almost at London High. We're almost into that 1 hour imbalance up top. So I would like to see us take some buy side and then get, sell off again. I would like to short this market, guys. I'm not saying this because I just don't want to trade. I would love to trade. I would love for a great setup to show. And I would like to really catch the shorts today. But it's got to be pretty much perfect. And, basically, I might only have one opportunity or one trade that I can take, because with the stop loss that I'm going to have, it might be one trade for the daily loss limit. Right, because we're going to have a wider stop if we want to get involved in this market. All right, so I would like to ask you guys, how many of you guys have traded today already? And for those of you that have traded, how has it gone for you so far? Okay, up 400. Short pre-market open. Hey, there you go, Glenn. Past the eval. Down, up 800, up 200, up 100 ticks. Okay, well, that's what I like to see. All right, that makes me very happy, guys. I was scared that I was going to see a lot of you saying, oh, I'm in the red, I'm in the red, I'm in the red. I know some of you are definitely in the red for sure. It's okay. So it's a little mixed, but it seems like most people are up. Seems like most people are up, and that makes me happy. I was a little bit worried that a lot of people would be down very bad today because of trying to chase these trades. I mean, I don't like saying this, but if you do think about it, last night, I wasn't trading last night, but if you did trade, I mean, you could have pretty much shorted and chased and not really had any issues. You might have hit your drawdown before that move, before you actually saw the drop. But this might be one of those moves where actually you could have chased and gotten away with it, and that's not something that I'm ever going to teach, and it's not something I'm ever going to encourage. But just it is one of those days, one of those nights where you probably could have shorted if you just threw in a few micros and been fine. But even then, you could see the market retrace 500 ticks, and you could hit your drawdown before the drop actually happened. So you would have to pretty much still get those entries pretty dialed in. Yeah, I mean, we're still longing right now. The market is still very bullish at open. We just traded into that hourly imbalance. It looks like we're gunning for that London high. And like I was saying before, even if I wanted to trade this right now, there's still no entries I would even take. There's still no entries I would take here. To me, there's still no setups. It's too volatile. You know, even if I wanted to jump into trade today, or at least right now, there's still nothing that I would take. So don't let this market give you FOMO. It's very easy to get FOMO in a market like this. When you see these huge moves happening, you really want to get involved. You're like, you know, you see a move happen, you're like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. So then once the move already happens, then you try to chase it, and then it ends up reversing on you, and then you end up getting stopped out. That's typically what happens. It's typically when you knew a trade was going to happen, or you knew a move was going to happen, you had good analysis, but you didn't take it, and then you see it happen, and then you're like, okay, now I want to get involved because I wish I got involved in the first one because I knew it was going to happen. So then you force a trade after the move's already happened, right? And then it ends up either chopping you out or it comes right back on you and stopping you out. That's not what you want to do. You know, if you see your move, you see your setup, and it's there, and you have good risk management, yes, go for it. You know, that's when you want to trade. But if it's not there, and then you see it happen, and then you chase, that's not the habit you want to be making. Remember, we do have red folder news coming out as well in like 9 minutes, so just another reason for me to stay out of the market right now. It's going to bring even more volatility to an already extremely volatile market. Yeah, I mean, this is it's a pretty insane move. Pretty insane move here. Big old pump, right? And we expect it. When we come down that far and that hard overnight or at any time, you always expect some kind of pullback at some point. That's going to come rebalance the market a little bit, or come back and grab some buy side, trap some people in the longs, right? Just to sell back off and come back down for those equal lows. So I'm still expecting us to come back down for those equal lows at some point. So let's see how far we want to come up. Do we want to come grab London high? We also want to look over here at ES and look at where our London and Asia high on ES are. So it looks like London high is around that same spot, 4:15 a.m. We got that London high. And then our Asia high is all the way up here, right at 7 p.m. up there. So it's still a ways to go for either of those buy side levels. It's like giving cocaine to a bear. I haven't seen that movie. Have you guys seen that movie? Is it any good? The Cocaine Bear or whatever it's called. You know, it's crazy that I saw that. I don't know if this is real or not. I heard that they actually tested sharks, and apparently some sharks tested positive for cocaine in their blood. That's crazy. That's insane. I mean, sharks are already scary enough, right? Imagine them pumped with cocaine in their blood. Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff out in the ocean, so it makes sense the amount of loads they've probably lost in that ocean, or in plenty of oceans. So I'll be expecting Cocaine Bear versus Cocaine Shark in the theaters soon. Always suspected something of Mark Cuban. Wait, why Mark Cuban? Oh my gosh, that one flew right over my head, dude. That one flew right over my head. Good one. That was a blonde moment for me. And yes, I can say that, guys. I'm blonde. It's not offensive. Oh, the new Twister movie. I'll probably go see that. Twisters. Yeah, I've heard about that. Is it has it officially turned into a hurricane down in Florida? I know the storm was pretty bad. I wasn't sure if it was actually a hurricane by now. My prayers for your guys' safety, for all of you that are down there. I was texting with JB last night, and I know he was saying he might not be able to trade today because of the weather. He might, his power might be off. So he's down in Florida as well. Dang. Bro, get out the jet ski. Get out the jet ski. Do some wakeboarding out there, some tubing. Well, I was supposed to trade on YouTube at Market Open, but I have not heard from Danny, and honestly, I'm not too upset about that because I don't think I'm going to be taking a trade anytime soon. Maybe I'll hop on with him later. I know he goes live on YouTube, or I think on Power Hour most days, so I might go live with him maybe on Power Hour. We'll see. Hurricane Debbie live updates. Category 1 storm makes landfall in Florida. Jeez. Jeez. ICT is live right now. Is ICT taking any trades? Yeah, I mean, I feel like Floridians are like, a Category 1 is nothing for them. Or for you guys, any of you that are from Florida. Hey, but a hurricane's a hurricane. That sounds fun. Pickleball in the rain. Sounds like a movie. That's a good title. Pickleball in the rain. That does sound like a broken ankle. Yeah, guys. No, for everybody that is going to be affected or that has been affected by the storm, prayers to you guys. Please be safe. Please be safe. I've been pretty spoiled my whole life. I've never really had to experience a storm like that. I mean, we had a hurricane in Southern California last year or earlier this year, and that was like not even bad. I was like, I can't even imagine what being in a real hurricane is like. All right, guys. So I'm really just waiting for us to start reversing because I really don't want to long this market right now. I don't really want to trade this market right now, and we also have that red folder news coming out in just over 2 minutes. So I do want to wait for that news to come out. It's going to bring a lot of volatility, more than we already have. So I don't want to be in any trades when that news is coming out. I'd like to wait for that news to be released, kind of see what direction it's going to move the market, see if we're going to get that reversal, if we're going to start heading back down. Maybe we can find a good swing trade opportunity to just hold the shorts. Because the way I see it today is once we do start falling off, I expect us to fall the whole day. I don't really expect us to come back and take out buy side again. I would expect us to keep falling. So if we do find a good opportunity, it might be a good swing trade opportunity to hold our shorts for most of the day. So that's kind of what I would be looking for. But we are too bullish right now at market open for me to do that yet. I would need to see us start to pull back. I did want to see if we could grab that London high and trade into that 4-hour SIBI. That would be a nice level to see us short from that 4-hour up there, from grabbing that London high liquidity. So news comes out in just about 1 minute. Remember, if you guys ever want to look at the news, JB sends it all to Market News, but you can also pull up forexfactory.com and it'll show you what news is coming out. It'll show you if it's red, yellow, or orange folder. It'll tell you exactly what the news release was, what the numbers were, all that kind of stuff. So it's good to stay up to date with that. So right now we do have ISM Services PMI coming out in just under a minute. Red folder. So it's gonna bring even more volatility to our market. So just another reason for me to sit on the sidelines right now. No need to jump into any trade. It's kind of like Friday for me right now, guys. I didn't, it was too volatile. I didn't really want to put any risk on the market. Right now, I'm the same way. It's too volatile. I don't want to risk anything right now. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for us to find great setups in the market. If it's this volatile, this is not high probability. All right, so that news is being released now. Let's see if we want to come up. All right, so now we've traded into that 4 hour. We've taken London high. So this is where I would want to see us reverse from, would be off this 4 hour SIBI. Right up here, we can see that 4 hour SIBI up here. I'd want to see us reverse from here, or maybe even if we trade into this 4 hour SIBI up here. All right, we're getting that SMT divergence on our higher time frames. We can see that same 4 hour SIBI is all the way up here on ES. So a lot of SMT here. So I'd really want to see us start reversing pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna trade today, sizing down pretty much as you can is a pretty good idea. I mean, if you think about it, even if you went in with 1 micro today, I mean, you could be risking a lot of money if you're not careful. Even with 1 micro. Just because of how much this market is moving. It's going to be looking like a mini the way you see that P&L moving up and down. So we're pushing up. We're still looking very bullish, pushing right through this 4 hour. I mean, we've almost come up and rebalanced the entire drop from last night, which is pretty insane to me. I wasn't expecting us to come back up and rebalance this market today. I was expecting a continued drop in the market. And as I was saying before, even if I wanted to long this market today, I still wouldn't have even taken any of these trades. Good morning, Kia Trades. Looks like you've added a little bit to the name. _ICT. Looks amazing. Good morning. Welcome. There we go. Found your niche and you're running with it. That's what I'm talking about. Kia Trades ICT. That's what she trades. She doesn't just trade. She trades ICT. Yeah, ICT. That's like his nickname. That's like his group. He's like the founder. His real name is Michael Huddleston, I think is his real name or something. He's the one who founded ICT Concepts. That's like his thing. But really, all of the ideas and all of the stuff that he's taught has been from other people from the past. And he basically found out how to tie it all together. A lot of these smart money concept ideas, he found a way to tie it all together. Now, the issue that I found when I was studying ICT for the first time was that he basically talks about so many different ideas and so many different entry models, which is good because everybody can find what works for them. But what people do is they get so caught up in hundreds of these different ideas and they can't just dial it into a few different entry models. You have to dial it in. You have to find what entry models you like that fit your trading style that you've back tested. But what people do and why ICT doesn't really work for some people is because they get too overwhelmed with all of the information. And what I did, and this is exactly what I've done, is I found what worked. I studied hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of ICT videos. I did my due diligence. I did a lot of studying. I've watched a lot of videos. And that's the reason I went through all that stuff, so you don't have to if you don't want to, right? I broke it down into at least what style works for me, what I found to be very successful. And I found the entry models that I think are very successful in this market. And I've broken it down into simple terms. But yeah, there's so much information, and it takes a long time to get through his videos because he does do a lot of talking and a lot of ranting, so it's hard for people to get through it. And I understand that, right? I went through it myself, and I think I've broken it down to a very simple idea, because you really want to simplify trading. Trading's hard enough as it is. It's a very hard thing to do, but if you overcomplicate it, it's going to be, almost impossible. You can't overcomplicate it. You have to make it as simple as possible. And that's why my strategy is a pretty simple strategy once you learn it. It's not too complicated, because trading is a very difficult thing to do. You have to simplify it and have a very good idea and strategy to where every time you see it, you just get in and you execute. And you're not thinking about 50 different entry models at one time. You're only thinking about a few different entry models. You're thinking about your macros. You're thinking about your kill zones. When are the moves going to happen? Like silver bullet, right? This whole hour is silver bullet. So you'd be expecting the silver bullet move to happen during this hour. So you're waiting for those confluences, and then you're looking to execute. That's one of my favorite entry models, one of my favorite trading strategies. Would you recommend any other than the 2022 mentorship? Yeah, I mean, I would look into the core content. There's a lot of good videos on core content. You could even look at the 2023 mentorship. I don't think it's as good as the 2022. I think the 2022 mentorship is the best base model for trading ICT that you can have. I think that gives you the best understanding of what ICT concepts are. And then you can kind of start going to find different entry models throughout, YouTube, or even on my videos. I've broken down my favorite entry models under our educational recordings. Every year the ICT changes. I wouldn't say it changes, but he comes out with new stuff all the time, just like new ideas, which is cool because, he's offering more insight to the market. But I know a lot of people get confused and don't really like it because it's too much. It's kind of information overload for a lot of people. So I think the best way, if you're trading ICT, the best way to do it is to simplify it, break down what entry models you've found and you've back tested that work, and only look for those entry models. Understanding market structure, like if you want to go watch my course, right? It's all out there for you. And it's just the basics, the basic ideas of ICT, market structure, liquidity, all that kind of stuff, order flow. And once you have a good understanding of that, then you just go and find the entry models that I've taught in educational recordings, or if you have another entry model you like to use, and then you just combine those ideas. Yes, so silver bullet is going to be, I'm going to say it in Pacific Standard Time. So 7 to 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is the first silver bullet hour. And the second is going to be 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Right, so on Eastern Time, yes, it's 10 to 11 a.m. and 2 to 3 p.m. Those are the silver bullet hours, and that's when we're expecting a run on liquidity. So like right now, we came up and grabbed a bunch of buy side. So this is when I would want to see us now reversed and go grab all of our sell side liquidity, right? We're targeting opposing liquidity now. I want to see us reverse, and I want to see us go grab all the sell side. If this is a true silver bullet move, that's what I would expect to happen. But I would need to see a reversal. I would want to see us actually break structure, get a market structure shift back to the downside, take out these lows. And then what you're doing is you're looking for fair value gaps on the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 3, the 4, the 5 minute, whatever time frame. And you're looking to use those fair value gaps as entries to target that opposing liquidity on the sell side. Well, in my opinion, I think we're going to come all the way back down. At least the way I see it, I think we'll come all the way back down, back to low of the day. Right now, it doesn't look that way. We still look bullish, and that's why I would need to see a true break of structure back down before that happens. I would want to see us come down, sweep this low, get a market structure shift, and then come all the way back down for these equal lows, all the way down here at like 17,338. If we're going to continue in the longs, then I would expect us to come up to Asia high, and then possibly into that 4-hour bearish order block, or filling that volume imbalance that we had, that gap down all the way up here. But I don't expect that to happen. I expect us to start dropping pretty soon, as we're starting to see right now. Look at how we came up. We took out our opening range high, and we're getting a strong bounce after getting SMT divergence and sweeping liquidity. Now I really want to see the market reverse. But if you know, today's a very conservative day for me. I need to see us break structure and or get that market structure shift before I even think about getting an entry. Before I even think about it. CPI and PPI next week. Well, let's check it out. Yes, so we have PPI next Tuesday, and then we do have CPI next Wednesday. So PPI, CPI are next week. This week we have unemployment, unemployment claims, a lot of stuff with unemployment. We still have a news-heavy week this week. Not a lot of red folder stuff, but just a lot of different news coming out. Yes, exactly. Displacement, retracement, right? We want to see us come down and sweep this low, close below, displace it, get a body of the candle to close below these lows, and then retrace back up. This would technically be a 1 minute bearish breaker if we close below. High, low, higher, high. If we displace these lows, then we're looking for us to retrace into that lowest down close candle, which will be this one right here. We'd want to see us trade back into that, and we'd want to short all the way back down to opposing sell side liquidity. So what are those sell side liquidity levels? We can also look at a 5 minute. Okay, so we have a swing low all the way down here. Get rid of that right there. So we've got a swing low down here on the 5 minute. Right there, and then we've got the swing low down here, which is those equal lows down there. We can break it down to a 1 minute time frame, and we can see we have a swing low on the 1 minute here. Some more sell side. So we've got all this sell side liquidity down here just waiting to be targeted, waiting to be taken. Right, to me this is starting to look like a true reversal, and it's not until we can break these lows. I don't have that confirmation, I don't have that confluence. And here's the issue as well, guys, because even if we do retrace back into this 1 minute bearish breaker, let's say we got an entry all the way at the bottom, right when we touch into that breaker, and we wanted to keep a stop above. That's a 283 tick breaker block right here. That's just a very difficult thing to trade. Very difficult. Another thing in Silver Bullet that we want to see happen is we do want to see us sweep a previous hour high or low. That's another confluence for Silver Bullet. So we've swept our previous hour high. We've traded into some imbalances above. We took out London high. We got SMT divergence. So everything right now is telling me short. Everything is telling me short right now. Doesn't mean that you're going to see me just jump into the shorts and chase the shorts. But my analysis and what I'm looking at, everything is telling me that the shorts want to step in. That's what my analysis is telling me. Okay, so once we close below these lows, that's that market structure shift, right? That's that bearish breaker block. But we have to see us close below first. You could look at it on a 2 minute time frame as well. 2 minute breaker, high, low, higher, high. Once we come down and displace the lows, that would be a 2 minute bearish breaker. The 3 minute, not much of a breaker, but technically, yes, it would still be a breaker. It's just so volatile that you're not going to see me jump into any entries right now. All right, that 1 minute candle right there was almost 260 ticks. Just that 1 minute down close candle right there. So I am completely okay with just sitting on the sideline today and just enjoying our time together, just hanging out, talking, and tape reading the market, doing our analysis, learning together. To me, that sounds great. What doesn't sound great to me is forcing entries, not focusing on risk management, risking our whole account, right? Over leveraging. That doesn't sound too good to me. That sounds like a setback that we don't want to do. We're all going to have setbacks. Everybody's going to have their setbacks in trading. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. But what we want to do is try to control as much as we can. Control what you can control. We can't control the way the market moves. Unless you're trading a million contracts, you cannot control the way the market moves, but you can control what you do. I've talked about this before. It's just like when you're going through trials, you're going through hard times in your life. You can't control all the time what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it, right? You can control how you react to certain situations. It's the same thing in trading. We can't control the way the market moves, but we control our own decision making. We control the trades we make. We control the risk management. And the hardest part is controlling our own mind, right? It's controlling our urges and the temptation to take bad trades and to do dumb things. That's what we have to focus on the most, is controlling our mind and building a discipline that's going to take us to the next level. If you can't build that discipline, you're going to have a hard time finding any success in this market. For me today, that discipline is showing in not taking a trade and understanding market conditions. Understanding that these are not ideal conditions to trade right now. As much as the market's moving, yes, you might be thinking, well, I could have just caught a 500 tick move in 1 minute and I could have made more money than I've ever made before. While that might be true, what are you risking to get to that point? Is it truly a good risk to reward ratio? If it's not, then you should not be trading. And this is one concept I talk about all the time, and I will keep saying it no matter how annoyed you guys get of me saying it. I don't really care. Can you defend your trade? If you had a jury of your peers, of your trading peers sitting in front of you, could you defend the trade that you were taking to them? Like you're in a courtroom. Would you be innocent? Right? Could you defend the reasoning for you're getting into that trade? If you can't do that, you should not be taking that trade. I'm sure a lot of you have been in different communities where people, you're following certain traders that don't have any discipline, that are just taking crazy trades. There's probably plenty of times you've seen that with other traders. And yeah, it might be fun and exciting. I agree, it is. But are you in here to build discipline and actually become a successful trader? Or are you in here to just have fun and mess around and waste your money? And I would say everybody that's in here is probably in here to become a successful trader and to make some money. And that's not the way you're going to make money. The way you're going to make money is by being disciplined and having a process that you stick to every single day, no matter what the conditions are. No matter what the conditions are, you stick to that discipline and you stick to that process. And that's how I started building discipline. Was I started to think about that idea of, can I defend this trade to somebody? If someone would ask me, why did you take that trade? If I can't defend that trade, then what am I doing? What am I doing? Like that means I'm literally just throwing money away for no reason. That's gambling, guys. That's when you see people saying that trading is gambling, that's what gambling is. It's not gambling if you actually have a real process and you have a real discipline with risk management. That's not gambling. But if you're just throwing money away and you're not actually sticking to a strategy, you're not sticking to risk management, that's what gambling is. And that's not what we want to do. Right? We want to be like the 5% or the 1% of traders that actually have a real discipline. We don't want to be like the 95% or the 99% of traders that are just going in here and throwing their money away. That's not what we are. That's not what we're doing here at Eternal Exchange. Well, yeah, it's very easy to get into that mindset, right? You start losing and you start talking negatively about yourself. You have that negative self-talk, and it's easy to fall into that because you know you can do better. And you're almost feeling guilty, right? Because you know you're better than that. What you don't want to do is fall into that negative self-talk and keep pushing yourself down, because that's not going to put you forward. That's going to set you even further back. The way I look at it is, if you know you can do better and you know that you could be a successful trader, is just when you go through those trials and you go through those hard times and you make those dumb decisions, is looking back on it and saying, okay, well, what can I control here? I can control how I react to the situation. I can control my feelings right now. I can control the fact that I made a mistake and I can learn from it and I can move on. I can control the way I talk to myself. You have to be very, very thoughtful, and you have to put actual conscious thought into it, though. You have to say to yourself, I need to speak positively to myself, because you react to that. your subconscious is going to hear the way you talk to yourself. It really does. And I've seen that in my own personal life, guys. When I talk negatively to myself, I see negative effects. When I talk positively to myself, I see positive effects. Like I always say, trading it's you versus you. It's you versus you. How are you going to master your own mind? That's what it truly is. And for me, right now, this is the way I'm trying to master my own mind right now. This is the way I'm trying to master my discipline, is by saying, okay, there's plenty of opportunities here that maybe I could catch a crazy trade. I could catch 1,000 ticks, right? I could make something happen. I could make a bunch of money. And that's what my mind wants to tell me. That's the temptation. It's saying, just go in, Jojo. Just go take a trade. Take a trade. Go make money. But what I have to do is I have to battle that thought. I have to battle the demons, right? The trading demons that are telling me that, and say, is this truly going to be beneficial? Is this actually a good trade? Or is this just gambling? Is just chasing a trade? Right? That's the battle, the mental battle you have to fight pretty much every single day. And it's harder on days like this. This is when it's really tested. And this is when I see so many traders lose all their money because they can't win that battle. And it's okay. We're not always going to win the battle. It's going to take time. But you have to start putting conscious thought into it. How are you going to win this battle? Let's see. So we are bouncing, right? We're bouncing off this 1 minute OB down here. This 1 minute bullish order block, we're definitely bouncing off of it. What I want to see happen is I'd want to see a reversal happen in the market. I'd want to see the short step back in. We're not seeing that yet, so you're not going to see me jump in any trades. Not really going to see me jump in any trades. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good psychology books out there, and they don't even have to necessarily be based on trading. There's a ton of good psychology books. There's actually a few that I've read. Let me look at my bookshelf. I've read a lot of books, so let me look and see if I can grab a few and show them to you. Okay, so I just grabbed a few of my favorite. I'm going to share my camera with you guys so you guys can see. I'm going to show them to you. Now, none of these are actual like trading psychology, but these are all like psychology books that have helped me, and there's a lot more than just these three. These are three that I saw. So the first one is Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. This one is huge. This one is one of my favorites. Yes, and obviously the Bible, that's the most important one, in my opinion, and I think in John's opinion as well. But Meditations is a great one. This is just for it's just becoming stoic, right? And it's not allowing your emotions to take control of your life, but you can take control of your emotions. This is a big one. I would definitely recommend that. Another one for psychology for me, this was a huge one, was A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. This is a guy who experienced the Holocaust as a psychoanalyst, as a psychiatrist, and it's his whole basically breakdown of how it gave him meaning and what he had to go through, some of the most horrific things you could ever think of, and for him to come out of that with a perspective is something that we can all learn from. So that's a big one as well. And then this one's also very good, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. I think this one's very good. It's one of those, self-help books for sure, but it's a very helpful one. Another one that's like this is Atomic Habits. This is more like very popular mainstream ones, right? But they're very helpful books. And that's just for building discipline, building the right habits in your own life that are going to transfer into your trading life as well. And I've got a lot of books I mean, I have my bookshelf over there, so I've got a lot more over there. There's more books that I can recommend as well. But those are just a few of them. Yes, this is the Eternal Exchange merch right here. This is our first t-shirt right here. I love it. I wear it all the time. This is like my favorite shirt I've ever had. Very comfortable. I really like how it looks. Yeah, we're talking about doing merch sometime in the future. Hopefully sooner than later. We also have a sweater and we also have a sweatshirt. But yeah, we're definitely going to be doing merch. And a little surprise for my mentorship. For my mentorship people, we might have a little bit of merch for you guys. It's going to be private. It's going to be only for my people in the mentorship. We're going to be sending you a little bit of a care package. So it's something to look forward to, hopefully, for my friends that are going to be in the mentorship. The first book was Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. This one's huge. And these are books that, I wasn't even thinking about necessarily trading. I was thinking about my own life. But the way when I started reading them, everything started translating over to trading as well. Right? Because your own discipline in your real life plays a direct effect into your discipline in trading. Direct effect. If you can't have any discipline in your real life, it's going to be harder to have actual discipline in trading. If you're a very disciplined person, and at least you can stick to a good process, it's going to help you get away, kind of clear out some of that clutter in your brain that you normally have from not really having that discipline or that organization or those good habits. It definitely plays a direct effect into my life, into my trading career as well. I'll tell you that. So yeah, guys, just another bounce. We're starting to kind of range a little bit. We bounced off that level again. Still don't really like any entries here. Don't really love what I'm seeing. We keep trading into that 4 hour. We've been bouncing off that 4 hour a lot. 1 hour imbalance as well. So just still not really much that I like too much. You can see the chop on the 5 minute. Very, very choppy. Very, very choppy. Cheers to my coffee drinkers. Oh, that was cold. That was really cold, guys. That didn't taste very good. Discipline in the deepest form of self-love. 100%. You guys see that quote? That's why John's coming on as our psychology coach right there. Oh, I love iced coffee, but what I don't love is when I make hot coffee and then it goes cold and then I take a sip. It's not the same as an iced coffee. I noticed that you are very selective in the days you trade. Can you maybe walk us over what you normally assess? Volatility, big moves overnight, etc. Yeah, for sure. So there's basically two conditions in the market that I don't love to trade. And number one would be slow and choppy. Number two would be extremely volatile. So today is an extremely volatile day. And we saw it overnight, right? We saw an extremely volatile night last night when the market dumped 1,000 points. So I already knew coming into the market today that I was going to be very conservative, and that's not my favorite condition to trade because I can't have good risk management. No matter how hard I try, my stop losses are going to have to be hundreds of ticks. So I had that mindset coming in. And the other reason I don't like choppy conditions and slow choppy conditions is because there's no real direction in the market, because price doesn't really want to pick that direction, right? It wants to just go up and down, It wants to not really give you any real opportunity. So basically it's both ends of the spectrum. It's the extremes. It's the extremely volatile and it's the extremely unvolatile, or the extremely, I shouldn't say unvolatile, but the extremely choppy, right? Because neither of them are going to give you the best risk management or risk to reward. The choppy is not really going to give you good risk to reward, and this extremely volatile is not really either. What I like to trade, my favorite days, and I'll go back to saying this, is I think the best traders and the way you're going to find success is by figuring out what days are good and what days are bad. And that's, why I'm explaining right now, because people will go in and trade every single day, no matter what the condition is, because they feel like they have to. They feel like they need to take a trade every day, or they need to take multiple trades every day. But that's not really how you build a discipline, and that's not how you find success in this market. The way you find success in this market is by figuring out what are our higher probability days. To me, the higher probability days are our more trend days, where we have a very good idea of what our daily bias is. We know where the market's trying to go, and we have great entry opportunities where price respects our levels. Days like this are not very high probability because you pretty much have to chase price in order to get any real entries, unless you get the most perfect entry off of a PD array like an hour, a fair value gap or an order block. But even then, price doesn't really respect those levels. John has to stay with us so we can avoid tilt. Exactly, right? Exactly. Yeah, I did the same last Friday, NFP. Exactly. Yep. Same thing. Monday or Friday and today are the same thing for me. Too volatile. I can't have good stop losses. I can't manage my risk the way I want to, so you're not going to see me jump into trades. And you might have not really seen that with previous mentors or previous traders you've seen, but in my opinion, and I think in a lot of great traders' opinions, that's the way you find an edge in the market, is by understanding when you should trade and when you should not trade. You have to, I think the real edge in the market is patience. It's patience and it's understanding market conditions. If you can have the patience and you can understand when to trade and when not to trade, that's how you're going to set yourself apart from other traders, and that's how you're going to get to that next level of your trading. If you're continuously trying to force trades into markets like this or into choppy conditions, you're probably not always going to see the best results. Sometimes you will. I know a lot of you have won today. A lot of you are seeing good results today, and that's amazing. That makes me very happy. But I hope that you came into the day with an understanding and you had good risk management, even though, even with your wins, I hope you still had very good risk management and you did it the right way, because that's what really matters. So we're really ranging right now, and really, we can look at the range. Let's see, from the top of the range to the bottom, 884 ticks. Right, so just still way too volatile. We're still not breaking structure. We can zoom in all the way into here. We closed below, so technically we did kind of break structure there. Not a very strong break of structure, but we did close below. We do keep bouncing, but I would expect us to start dropping from here very soon. At least that's what I want to see happen. I want to see it start dropping from here pretty soon. All right, but let's say I wanted to get in the shorts. Let's say I got an entry right here. I want to keep a stop above the breaker. That's a 200 tick stop. I don't want to keep a 200 tick stop personally. That's not really my style. That's not really what I want to do. I know we're looking for a lot of reward, so I could keep a 200 tick stop and be okay. If you want to trade micros, yeah, the cool thing about this is even with the 200 tick stop, you still would be keeping almost a 1 to 4 risk to reward for this to down to this low. So it's still very good, at least reward, but are you willing to risk 200 ticks? That's the question. I expect these shorts to start stepping in pretty soon here. I just don't really want to take any entries at this point. So that's where my head's at right now, guys. I really want to see the market kind of slow down. Yeah, exactly. I could do that, right? So I could go to micros. And I could do some math. All right, but even then, we haven't broken structure, and I still don't like the volatility here. All right, but let's say I wanted to have a 200 tick stop loss. And let's say I went into, I wanted to risk, let's just say, for instance, $2,000. Right? So then, yeah, I could do that. And I could go into, micros. But look at what's happening right now. We're just ranging. We're not respecting levels. We're very volatile. I still don't even really want to do that. If we had a very clear setup, then I would be more willing to have a wide stop like that, like a 200 tick stop. If we had a very clear setup, but right now we don't really have any very clear setups. In my opinion, we're just too choppy and too rangy. What I really want to see is the market kind of die down today, and I want to see us have some better price action by lunchtime. Kind of by lunchtime, by the afternoon session. I'm hoping we have some more chill price action, a little bit better setups. Because I mean, I'm even just looking back at our price action, and there's still not really any trade setups I would have taken. Even in these longs, I don't think I really would have. I don't think I really see any longs that I even liked. Right? Because we would come down and we'd displace a fair value gap, we'd displace a level, and then we would trade away from it. We'd come down a few hundred ticks, and then we'd pump a few hundred ticks, and then we'd chop. There's just not a lot of entries I would have even looked at taking over here. So, yeah, just another reason that I'm happy I'm sitting on the sideline right now. I'm good with it. So what I'll probably do is we'll probably just have to come back for prop firm session, or if price action is a little bit better during lunch hour, maybe I'll run another session during lunch hour if we kind of chill out a little bit. So what I'll say is just keep your notifications on today. And, we're still going to stick to our normal schedule, right? Prop firm session would be the next one. But if I see something better, and I might run a live session for you guys around lunch hour or something once price action is chilled out a little bit. We could come back. We'll see. I don't know if price action is going to get much better. I think it's probably going to stay volatile for the whole day, but I want to see if it's going to relax a little bit. If it does, we'll run a session during lunch hour or sometime around then, and then we'll do our prop firm session. So just keep those notifications on. Again, right now, I'm not going to be taking any trades, guys. This market is not good. It's just not good risk management. It's too choppy right now. It's too rangy, I should say. So I'm not going to take any entries. I'm going to sit on my hands. I'm going to stay disciplined. And I'm going to come back and look at the charts in a little bit and see if we have anything better. So, I'll keep you guys updated. Again, I'm always around, no matter, even if I'm not in a live session, I'm always around for questions, comments. Now we've got John that's going to be around for questions and comments, and we have Braden, right? So our whole team is here for anything you guys need, all right? We've got our full team now. It's like the Avengers are here. I'm so excited. So excited for John's sessions coming up in the future, for his first session tomorrow. It's some cool things are ahead of us, guys. Some cool things. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys very soon. I'm going to end the session here. Again, no trades for me today. We'll see if I want to take any in the future. Pun intended. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe until I talk to you next. God bless. Peace out. Peace.